Hi tubies, here's Alexander again, and welcome back to the next painting tutorial. This time we will have a look at the mighty Lord of Khorne, and you might wonder why I've not finished assembling him and placed him on the square bases instead of his round base. Well, let me quickly talk to you about this. Basically, the square bases are only there for the painting purpose. If I would have glued him on like this, directly on the base, well, I wouldn't be able to paint this whole section of the miniature because, well, the doggy would completely block him off. If I would leave the dog off, the base is basically too big to handle for a single miniature. So I simply put him on a square base. Why a square base? Because it's easy to remove the edges afterwards and then glue him down on the base. So also with this bases I can attach him nicely on my little miniature holder. This is just an old paint pot, as you can see here, citadel color. Just an old paint pot with some sticky tack on it. So with that I can easily prime the miniatures now and paint them. So the round base will be back very late in the painting tutorial. So other than that, why I have left his cloak and his front plate here off, well, if you look like that, if you have a look at him that way, if come on, so if we attach it, then there's obviously else stuff I can't reach with a brush really good in the back, but you could see it. So basically we will paint these parts here separately and leave him first like that. So I will prime the miniature now, and we will prime him in different stages. So the body will be primed differently than the cloak. So also the Flesh Hound will be also primed. I will start the prime with just an so for the Flesh Hound I will prime him very gently in white with a white spray primer, just very gently to give a nice smooth primer coat, and then I will use there we have us the Mephiston red to well, spray prime him completely red. But this here is not a primer, this here is a spray color, so you need primer underneath it to use it. So he will be primed in red afterwards. I will prime him also in red, but he would be a darker red than the Flesh Hound, so I will prime him previously black and then red. And his whole cloak will be primed completely in black. So much for that. I will do that now and be back when he is completely dry and ready to paint. And in the first stage in this tutorial we will paint the Flesh Hound. So this will be probably a two-part video. First part is the Flesh Hound, and the second part will be the painting tutorial about him. So yeah, be right back. So tubies, there I'm back now, and as you can see he's primed, but there are some leftover spots that we need to tackle with a little bit of Mephiston red. I could have gone for complete coverage, but then if you overdo it, then sometimes you apply too much primer on the model and overall you will ruin details, and so it is better to prime him slightly and gently, especially when you have a two-part primer like this one here. Yeah, then take your time and repaint some of the areas that aren't hit with the primer, instead of respraying and respraying and respraying until it is 100% primed. So this is a much better approach. And also it saves you a lot of spray primer. Let's face it, spray primer is expensive. So, okie doke. Quickly hit that. So my approach for this model is different than the one you can see from Games Workshop. So let's quickly grab the picture that Games Workshop provides. Let's take that out of the way. So let's see if I can fit that under the camera. So, there we have him. And as you can see, he is painted in a Bordeaux red with a black top. And actually, I don't like that. So I will paint him actually in a bright red, and make his fins here and all the top fins here in an orange, almost yellow, fiery. So he will be very bright next to the Khorne Lord as a contrast. I hope this would look quite good. So yeah, this stuff is now dry. Now it's time to hit him with a wash for a little bit of shadow. I use now a brown wash for that, not black. Raglan Flesh shade. Just take a big old brush. And then we will shade the miniature. Brown wash is always good if you want to go brighter on red miniatures. If you go with black, then obviously you get a very deep dark red tone in the end. And that is not what we want here. We want nice subtle shadow areas, but still be able to highlight him bright. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Also, you can use this paint method not only for this character model. You can also use that for the normal Flesh Hounds of Khorne, obviously. And as I have seen, the Flesh Hounds are actually a pretty awesome unit in the game. So in the old times, Flesh Hounds were always a meh choice, not that good. But nowadays, in Age of Sigmar, well, each unit has its role on the battlefield, and each unit has its perks. And I can totally see the Flesh Hounds being taken more and more often. So there's still a white spot on the inside here. So there we go. Covering that up. Yeah. He's given a wash now. As you can see, everything is hit. Make sure. Here on the claws. Ah, there's a spot I've missed. There we go. Okay, I will let that dry now and be back in a second. So tubies, this is the look after the wash is dry, and now we have to pick what areas of the model we will paint first. I always go for the inside out method, meaning that you start painting with the stuff that is most inside the model and most likely to hit other stuff while you paint it. And so the first thing we will do is prime the collar he has around his neck, and we use Warplock Bronze for that. So just put a little bit on the palette, and then we'll simply prime that. We will use that because, well, we want to have it gold in the end, and in order to paint gold you have to start with a brown or a bronze primary color to make that really nice. So I will finish that really quick and be right back. Okie dokie, so now that that is out of the way, we can work now on his fins, and for that I wanted to have it bright orange and almost yellow in the end, and so we will start with a 50-50 mix out of Evil Sun Scarlet and Troll Slayer Orange. So give that a good shake. One drop of red and washing the brush, and one drop of orange. There we go. Adjusting the paint on the brush, and then we will start painting lightly over it, and we want to keep this little dark areas behind, just like that. See? Just barely touching the surface, and you will achieve what we are trying to do here. Okay. Same goes for the fins. Just gently brushing over it. So now for the inside. So this part is a little difficult to hit with the brush, but we can do it. I know we can. Yes, we can. So, then the next step will be pure Troll Slayer Orange. Same here, a little bit on the palette, adjust the amount of paint on a paper towel, and then we will go gently over it, and we will leave a little bit from the old color behind, and also remove all the cat hair. That way we get a nice transition. Now I'm concentrating here only on the little spines, Going just a little bit on the sides here. Like that. Also the inside, not to forget. And now we will use some Flesh Gets Yellow and mix it into the orange, making it an even brighter orange. And as you can see, I'm using here the side of the brush. Very gently going over the parts. And then comes the last step. We put even more yellow into the paint. Well, actually, in this step, we take yellow paint and put a little bit of that color into it. Just a little bit. Okay. And now we're picking up only the front bits. As the final highlight. Here again, just the top parts. And there we go. There we have a nice orange color, and here the fins. So next turn we will make the flesh, and for that I'll be right back. Okay, now let's paint the skin, and for that I use pure Evil Sunz Scarlet. A little bit on the palette, and then I will simply paint off all the muscles that are sticking out. Little pro tip to keep a steady hand. Always place your finger on the miniature holder, your little finger, and always have the other hand definitely on the table, so nothing is going to move. And if it moves, my hand will move with it and stabilize itself. So the paint is a little bit dry, so I add a little bit of water in it, so we have a better flow of the paint. So I think you get the point what I'm doing here. So I will finish up the rest and be right back. So there I'm back, and this is how it looks. And the next step will be Wild Rider Red. Put it on the palette, and with that remove hairs from your brush, and with that we will make some nice highlights on the top spots of the muscles. Only here and there. So, just like that. Just like that on the head. I know, bad pun. And I guess for the skin, that will be it. It is fairly easy on this miniature. Also, you can totally apply this method not only for the Flesh Hounds, you can use that for any Khorne demon. For demon princes, for Flesh Hounds, for bloodletters. Blood crushers, actually the blood letter on the blood crusher. So, and there we go, the skin is done. So now the last final bits on this miniature are the claws and fangs and a little bit of gold, and then we are done. So for the claws, we will go now with a 50-50 mix of Scrag Brown and Baneblade Brown. So on the palette, and on the palette, mix them both together. There we go. And then we will simply prime with that all the claws. And I'll be back when this is done and dry. So, as you can see, all the claws are primed now. Now it's time for a 50-50 mix out of Baneblade Brown and Screaming Skull. Give it a good shake. On the palette. Mix, mix, mix. And swoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Also leave a little bit of the old color behind, so we get a nice transition. like usual. I'm repeating myself so often in these videos. I think in my next life I will be a parrot. I'm training in this life. So this is quickly done. So now the teeth. Gently going over it, just like you did it with the fins. And there we go. And the last step will be pure bleached bone, aka Screaming Skull. For those of you that didn't know, the old name for the color was bleached bone. So there comes the name from. And old players also use this name quite frequently. Actually, it was for me quite hard to switch to the new names. And actually, I can't remember any of the new names. I'm always referring to the old names. Bestial Brown, Chaos Black, Skull White, Fiery Orange, Blood Angels Red, Blood Red, and so on. The new names make actually no sense for me at all. But I can read. So I can simply read them off and tell you what I mean. And there we go. All the bone parts are done. Ta-da! So, next step, we will paint the gold here. I have here a mix out of 50-50 bronze, Warblock bronze, this here, and gold, auric armor gold. Actually, the gold in here are 3 different gold tones, but you don't need that for this. So just make a simple 50-50 mix out of those colors, and there you go. So I often get the question where I got this paint pots here. There is a British company that sells paint pots. I have actually a video dedicated to that, where there's also the link to the site in the video description. So if you want to know this information, then go on my video site and search for paint pot, and then you should be able to find the video where I'm refilling all my Vallejo paints into the new paint pots, because I hate the Vallejo dropper bottles. And so I have refilled them. Yeah. There we go. Next step in the gold process, just take your auric armor gold. Pure. Here on the palette you see the brightness difference between those gold tones. and try to avoid getting too much color into those two holes, because that are actually the connection pieces between this miniature and the Khorne Lord. So now I will put a little bit of chainmail, the old chainmail, but you can also use the newer Runefang steel, but I prefer the chainmail. Oh, the card is empty. Sorry. So guys, sorry for that, but my SD card was full. As you can see, I've highlighted now the gold, as I said, with a mix of a little bit of silver into the gold on the high spots. And well, now we are on the last bits. So the eyes I will paint now in a bright green, because green is a nice complementary color for red, and if you have a just tiny little bit green in the miniature, then well, it will increase the look of the whole miniature. And I will use now a 2-0 brush for that, and as color I use mood green. So very, very gently. Just like that. There we go. Nice green eyes. So, now we will place him on the base. But with this square base, this is not good at all. So we will quickly remove the most part of this. So just make cuts like that, and then break off the excess. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. So that doesn't need to be pretty, just effective. So there we go. And now we will simply place him on the round base. We will file that a little bit down. So we get a nice flat gluing area. Just like that. Take your standard plastic glue. I use a Revell Contactor Professional as my plastic glue because of the nice steel tip. Give it a good squeeze of glue, and then we'll simply place the doggy on the edge of the base. Actually more like that. So there we go. So if you want to have this area on top here a little bit darker, then well, we can do that quickly here. We will simply use a little bit of Moon Oil Wash. So gently going over this area. Just like that. Same on the other side. And there we go. He's completely done now. Obviously the base we will finish when the whole miniature is done. But for this part of the Khorne Lord, we have now finished it. Holding it from time to time upside down so that the wash is not pooling down too much. And there we go. I hope you liked this tutorial about the Flesh Hound, and we will see us in part 2 of this tutorial. You're Alexandra.